Immigrant advocates say it may be ineffective and potentially dangerous to migrants. The barrier, made of large orange buoys, is already the subject of a lawsuit from a local kayak company. Officials say the barrier will help secure the U.S.-Mexico border. First announced in June, the floating barrier is eventually expected to cover about 305 meters, 1,000 feet of the river. The buoys will be connected with webbing and anchored to the bottom of the river in the Eagle Pass area, which has seen about 270,000 migrant detentions this fiscal year. We always look to employ whatever strategies will be effective in securing the border, Texas Governor Greg Abbott said of the barrier at a June 8 news conference. Researchers and advocates who study the border have questioned whether it will have any meaningful impact on the number of migrants who attempt to cross or dissuade them from trying. This is pure theater, said Adam Isaacson, a migration and border expert from the Washington office on Latin America. It's less than a speed bump, ultimately, but it looks great for cameras. The BBC has reached out to Texas officials for comment. Speaking to reporters in June, Texas DPS Director Stephen McCraw said that the barriers would be a deterrent to migrants getting in the river, where migrants drown or are rescued regularly. Ana Martinez, a professor at Southern Illinois University who has researched the impact of projects on the Rio Grande and is a native of Eagle Pass, said the barriers may change the flow of the river, potentially making it more dangerous for migrants crossing. It certainly is going to make the water act unexpectedly, she said. And who knows what it's going to do once the water gets higher. New Yorkers gathered to see Manhattanhenge, but not everybody was happy with the photo opportunity. Cloud coverage left some spectators disappointed with Wednesday's sunset. The city's famous grid system usually frames the setting sun, casting a warm glow over the concrete jungle. The biennial phenomenon draws hordes of onlookers, tourists, and locals alike, who vie to capture the perfect image. But on Wednesday, Twitter users grumbled that the show was ruined by clouds. Others complained about the overcast sky making it a bust and a dud. Manhattanhenge watchers will have another chance on Thursday, but only half the setting sun will be on display between the skyscrapers.
Previous 2 nights of Manhattanhenge this year happened in late May. The next time to catch the sunset show will be in 2024.
A former U.S. Marine who became the focus of right-wing conspiracies surrounding the Capitol riot is suing Fox News for defamation. The legal action accuses Fox of telling a fantastical story suggesting Ray Epps was a federal agent to make him a scapegoat for the raid on Congress. Mr. Epps was filmed encouraging people to enter the Capitol complex in January 2021, but he was not charged. The lawsuit, filed in court in Delaware on Wednesday, does not specify damages. It also names Tucker Carlson, who was taken off air by the network earlier this year. Mr. Epps' lawyer says his client and his wife had to close their wedding venue business in Arizona and move to a small motorhome in Utah because of threats and harassment they endured as a result of the conspiracy theories. Mr. Epps was in Washington the night before the riot with Trump supporters near the Capitol and on the day of the riot itself. He was seen in a video urging people to enter the building. Members of the crowd chanted back "Fed! Fed!" accusing him of being a law enforcement official. Mr. Epps has said in interviews that he has no ties to law enforcement agencies and that he did not enter the Capitol during the riot.
1 dead as driver flees police traffic stop near White House. The fatal collision in the heart of Washington, D.C. unfolded as uniformed officers pulled the car over for an expired registration plate. The motorist drove off through a red light and struck multiple individuals in the crosswalk before fleeing, said the Secret Service. The suspect is still at large. The incident happened just before 13:30 local time 17:30 Greenwich Mean Time on Wednesday as uniformed Secret Service officers pulled over the driver, who was in a 2006 blue Honda Accord. The suspect indicated that they would stop the vehicle, but then quickly fled, the agency said in a statement. Secret Service spokesman Anthony Guglielmi said police were working to locate the suspect. Our deepest condolences go out to the victim's family, he said. Officers at the scene and area, typically crowded with tourists and other visitors to the nation's capital, provided first aid to those injured. One person was transported from the scene in critical condition and later succumbed to injuries at an area hospital, officials said in a statement. The victim was a 75-year-old man, according to CBS Washington.